technology in real estate, artificial intelligence in real estate. Can it make you money? Is it making you money? Stay tuned.
Morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you? I like the robot.
Good. Saw the robot. I had to go.
Yeah.
Your topic this morning, tell us about it.
So today we're going to be talking about the different technology that we use, but also that is used in the industry that's only growing. So we could run through some of the cool and interesting and maybe not so known things that are done.
And if your agent is not using it, you could be losing money.
Yeah, potentially, especially if another agent is. Which one would you pick? The one that's got these really cool technologies that are making them more efficient, or the one that's not even thinking about it? It's not on their radar.
And are they a gimmick, or are they the real McCoy making you money? Because sometimes it's just like perceived value, but it's not really value, but it sounds good. So we're going to tell you what's working, what's not working.
Definitely. So the first one, this one, I don't know what you're going to think about this. I saw it, we don't do it, but it's done in the US. I thought it was kind of interesting. So they had, you know how like in houses sometimes that you can integrate different things into the cloud, like your furniture and lights and whatever.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, but there's this new system and it links to your property manager so that if something goes wrong, your property manager gets notified straight away. So it's like an automated maintenance request through the cloud, which doesn't go through the person.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
I reckon there's like, what would go wrong in a house though? Like seriously, is it going to work out your plumbing and report it? Probably not. You know, I think it sounds a bit limited at the moment, but maybe like a reporting system. Yeah. Next one.
So next one is that we do use, but it's also big data and analytics. So for example, when we can look in the back end when we advertise a property and we can see kind of the trends of how many people have viewed it, how many clicks, and what they've also clicked on. Yeah. Very useful info.
So a couple of years ago, they started using the word data lakes, where there is just so much data out there that you've just got there's industries where they're just handpicking the great information out there to make that sales process easier, to promote more correct information to the right people. We're seeing that now. Actually, you know what's interesting? I saw a lot of the major retailers are using facial technology on the front at the front of their stores. So basically, I think there was 2 out of 3 retailers majors that are using that technology now. So they're basically, don't worry about leaving your email address. We're going to take your facial print, like a fingerprint, and we're going to work out. We're going to start, matching you up with stuff. So that's scary.
It is scary, but it's even things that could be as simple but very useful, like not even the face technology, but most shops have scanners when you walk in the door to count how many stuff go through. Even something like that, just say if you're a massive retailer that's all over Australia and you're sitting in an office and you can see, oh, this store has this going on around it, so it impacts people coming through, or this store is located in this spot, which is affecting how many people and how much traffic. That one number gives you so much info.
Imagine go to Bunnings and they go, hey, Michael, how are you? And you go, how do you know my name? And they go, and everyone uses your name. That's where it's going. Yeah. So imagine going to an open house. Don't worry about giving us your name. You've been to one of our open houses before. Facial recognition. We know who you are.
I don't think I'd like that much, but I think it's going to end up happening. Yeah.
It's in stores at the moment in Australia.
Yeah, crazy.
Next one.
Next one, we use this a lot, but we can do some Photoshop and virtual furniture on photography. So the editing on photos. What do you think about that?
I think people are going to be shocked with how much it actually is used now readily in the industry. I would probably say on vacant properties with progressive agents, probably 2/3 of agencies across Australia would be using it actively on all properties. Like
Yeah.
it is a big thing. I'm just seeing if I can pull up a photo of an example. But yeah, it's huge, and it gives. And you know what? It's not. It doesn't upset tenants, and it doesn't upset buyers because it gives them spatial awareness of the property. So
Yeah.
for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, we're putting actual pieces of furniture into a vacant room and making that room look furnished. People love it.
Not only that, it's cost efficient compared to a stylist. It's a lot cheaper to do. So it also caters to the vendors that might not necessarily be able to afford full styling, or if it's tenanted and they can't change the whole apartment or house.
And also we're using it to freshen up photos. So even if it's a property campaign that we've been running for a while, still haven't found this photo that I'm looking for. Even if we're running the property campaign for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and the property hasn't sold, we're pulling out the owner's furniture and putting in virtual furniture digitally. How much does it cost?
$150, I think, for per room.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
she
it's about
looks
that.
magic, magic, magic. I think I'm going to give up. I
That's
think I'm
okay.
going to give up for the photo. All right. Next topic.
The next one that we have is this one kind of sidelines real estate, I think. So real estate's always been the traditional investment that people have made. Something it's more not used in real estate, but competing against is people choosing to invest in crypto as a different option. I think it's quite interesting how people are now kind of going, because initially when crypto was coming up, a lot of people kind of laughed at it. Now it's going, oh, do I invest in real estate? Do I invest in crypto?
Mm.
Yeah, another technology that I think it just sidelines it. It's not something we use, but just something that's interesting to have in the periphery.
Yeah, even like you can imagine paying rent with crypto.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy stuff. Hey, Ben's got settlement today. Congratulations, buddy. He's done the buy and the sell and saved a bit of money on his mortgage. Was working with a digital messaging company who's using facial recognition to understand the demographic of the person who's walking
Oh,
past the digital screen to apply the right advert as they see it. It's happening. There you go. Um,
wow.
you can do the virtual rooms now and have furniture applied to a room as you look at it through your phone and in a vacant space. Next generation. That's happening. If you're digitally enhancing photos, is it a true representation of the property? I think it is because whatever photos you have, whatever furniture you have in the property, whether it's from Coco Republic or Fantastic Furniture, it is what it is. It's just furniture.
Yeah.
Don't have a go on me. So I think digital as well, whether you do the Gucci image all the way through or whether you do the basic image all the way through with virtual furniture, it's still, you're not selling the furniture, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
tough. I think, Michael, you could be right, though. If agents are making enhancements like repainting the room
Yeah.
or if they're removing power lines or trees, I think now you're in trouble and that's dodgy.
Yeah.
But aside from that, no, I think the furniture, we'll put it this way, Michael, we haven't had a pushback from one person. We've been using digital furniture for probably 5 years now. Not one complaint the whole time. So that's thousands of people.
What Ben was saying as well, what could be something that we could see in the future as, the virtual reality headsets?
Yep.
What a way to show property. Imagine if you stood in a shopping center and you had all of your properties loaded up onto a headset and then you plonked it on the person. They could look around every room before actually having to set foot in it.
Done it.
Really?
Yep. And do you want to hear something really funny about it?
Yeah.
I've got the perfect saying. a good idea, a bad idea, well executed, is better than a good idea, badly executed. I'll say it again. A bad idea, well executed, is better than a good idea, badly executed. And we spent a lot of money with VR, in the order of probably 50 grand, with a developer. So actually the developer invested in it, not us. We ran the technology. It was for off the plan.
Yeah.
So we were walking. We had a guy that was building our rooms for us. He was a really good guy. I think his name is Tin, Tin, and then we were giving him the floor plans of the building, the engineering plans of the building, the fit out of the building. He was building the whole thing, and then we're giving him a drone photo of the view, and he was actually plugging the view into that unit as well. So when you're standing in the unit, what you see.
Wow.
So, yeah. So it sounded like, mate, you've nailed it. But here's the kicker: with all the technology that we're talking about, what I've learned, because I love adopting new technology, and I've made money from it and I've lost money from it. What I've learned in real estate is it's got to be a +1. It can't be a +10.
Yeah.
It's got to be like just an incrementally better, faster, stronger for people to snap onto it, rather than a whole new gig. And as using VR as an example, when we were getting people to put the goggles on and walk around, it was just such a warp of a change for people. Not a lot of people liked doing it or wanted to do it. So the practicality of getting them involved and doing that and running that and buying off that was remote. So the VR is coming, it's there, but I think there's a whole bunch of milestones in between that we as a digital community have to hit before we get to actively using VR, particularly for property.
It might even be something that once you become more familiar with it and you've done it a couple times, like a lot of people haven't ever put on one of the VR headsets, and then to do it for the first time when you're making $1 million decision might be a bit different.
Yeah.
So maybe if you've experienced
we thought it was free. Like, why wouldn't you do it as a buyer?
Yeah.
You know?
True. Next one I have is drones.
Love
Game
drones.
changer. So good.
Perspective, whole different game, with perspective, and I think being able to imagine yourself in the property a bit like a dollhouse. Drones have done really, really well. So I remember years ago we used to have a guy with a pole camera, and we were like, "That is so cool." He had like a 15-meter pole with a camera on the top, and he'd be shooting back in the corner of the yard, shooting back on the house. And we were like, yeah. So, it's pretty cool. The drones have done really, really well. I think sometimes we get a bit too excited with the aerials in an industry. It's almost like, just show us the house. But, very good.
It works really well.
Where are they going as well?
I have no idea. The drone Uber Eats. In all the new buildings, a lot of the new buildings they're developing, they're putting the Uber Eats drop off for drones on the roof. Interesting. Yeah.
So I had one of our buildings we sold, the developer kept a 300-meter squared concrete pad, separate strata, and put a high voltage power up there for him. So basically, and for it to be separated on the strata, it needed to have 2 car spaces. So he went to a bit of effort to have it strated, to have the slab built, to have the power run, to get it all done, exactly for what you just said.
Yeah, even in Queensland, it's very standard on the buildings because they did the trial run, but the infrastructure is ready to go in like outside of Brisbane, that area, because it's more spread out where Sydney's more condensed. So they started there. So a lot of the buildings, they already have it.
Yeah, because this particular building, the way he did it was for battery change out.
Ah, okay.
So he was going to aggregate for all delivery people that the drones could come in and or do an auto battery change out and go again.
Oh, how good. Wow.
It's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
What else have I got? The predictive analytics. I always stumble. So when when you go on Facebook and you message a website, and then it sends an auto response to you, and it adjusts. That's also becoming very common when you're inquiring about properties. Sometimes some agencies do a predictive response until they can forward you onto an agent.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we did a lot of that with the agency, and I know when I'm at the point of asking a question on chat, it's not normally something that I want as a consumer answered by a bot, even if it can answer. So yeah, I think it's there but not there yet. I think it's definitely going to happen.
Because there's nothing worse than when you send a question and it can't understand what you're saying and it keeps sending you the wrong info.
Yeah. Look, in hindsight, I guess it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Which is good. Ben's got a question. What do you think of unit or housing developers providing electric charge stations now as standard? It's got to be done. It's got to be done. It's pretty interesting. We had a boarding house development approved in our area, and if you were supplying electric bikes, electric charging station, or share bays for community cars, they would retire a bunch of car spaces that you needed to build in the building. So, for example, if you're doing I think in this case they're doing 60, 70 units, it was mandatory to have 2 car spaces or 3 car spaces being a boarding house. They turned around and said, given the location, and if we do a share car space for, like those go-get cars.
Yeah.
If we do 2 of those 2 go-get cars can service the whole building if they need a car. So everyone doesn't need or want a car space. And then also it went down to using electrical ones. They won a whole bunch of points for using it. So yeah, it's definitely happening out there.
A lot of these things are happening. Like even yesterday we were talking about 3D printed houses. And things like this, they seem so absurd, but they are happening. Like that face recognition will be stock standard before we know it.
Big time. Good morning, Luke, your legend. Car spaces will be made redundant in the future. I think so. You know what? A world where, with real estate, with property, I think a world where, we share. So basically, buses is a sharing platform for transport. A road is a sharing platform for transport, I guess, as well. But I think where you basically get into a car, it takes you where you want to go. There is no driver, and that car's running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's cheaper than car ownership. And you're using your time in the car to do your emails, your calls, whatever, and you're not having to focus on the road. There's reduced accidents on the road. Sounds great to me.
Yeah, it's just, I think, building that trust with any of these things. It's the person building the trust with the technology, like the VR, because they're unfamiliar. That's why that trust wasn't there. And it's the same with the cars. Like my first thought with those cars sounds great, but I would be the one where the car would have a malfunction. Like that's my first thought. So it's building the trust of it.
Yeah, and I know cars parking themselves. I know that technology has been around for 5 years, 7 years now in cars, and I've had it in my car for probably 5 years. You're still getting used to it, and that's driving itself back into a car space, but you're still getting used to it. You're never and I think it's just practice.
Whenever I'm in the car with you and you use the self parking, I'm always like,
we had the team in the car yesterday. I always put my hands up in the air like this. I'm going, all right, here we go. Watch this. No hands.
Gives me a heart attack every time.
All right. Well, that's interesting for property in the future with tech. Thank you, Jess.
Thanks.
Anything you want to go out with on summary?
Oh, just we have no idea what's coming. Something new happens every day in the world of tech. It's exciting.
Yeah. You know, when I went to the AREC, the awards, the training, the biggest training for real estate agents in Australia. It's called AREC. Prop tech has gone absolutely ballistic in our industry. And walking around to look at all the exhibitions where they used to be selling key tags, and they used to be selling, bags and stuff, the gift hampers for agents. Most of the guys there were prop tech there, and some of the prices that are being paid for some of these prop tech companies, generally between 30 to 120 million for these companies. So prop tech, really, really going excellent, which is on the back of the things we spoke about today, the AI and people that are doing stuff like that, Rita, servicing the industry.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What are you up to today, Jess? Anything exciting?
Couple of appraisals, and I actually have some time in the office today, which is good. I was out all day yesterday, so it'll be nice getting through whatever's on my desk. Smash it. Yeah. What about you?
Right. Same thing. Oh, you know what? I love a Thursday. Thursday's the it's like a Saturday. Oh, it's just I don't know how to explain it for people that are not in the industry, but for me in particular, it's just the day where I can get shit done. And I don't get hammered. There's not a lot of people in the office on a Thursday, because everyone takes off like generally a Thursday or Friday. There's not a lot of people in, and today I'm just same as you. Obviously I'm opposite you, and we'll be doing the same thing, just smashing through our emails and calls and inquiries and stuff. So
good day. Yeah.
Thank you, legend. Everyone have a beautiful day, and looking forward to technology. We went over today. I got a bit excited with this topic.
I know, it is a good topic.
All right, legend. Take care. See you, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.